What's up, everyone? My name is k-rad. I'm a rapper, producer, beer lover, and now I'm a podcaster. Podcasting about Northwest hip-hop and Northwest beer. Why? Well, I love them both, and frankly, you should too. So sit back and crack a cold one as a weekly guest and I talk about all things hip-hop and hops. This is Hoppy on Broadway. Welcome to episode 3 of Hoppy on Broadway. Just a reminder, guys, that if you like the show, please give it a follow or subscribe, be it on SoundCloud, iTunes, or YouTube. It helps the show immensely, not only through sponsorship for free beer, but also convinces more rappers or producers to get on the show. So please follow and subscribe. On today's show, I traveled up to Capitol Hill to meet and drink Elysian beer with the veteran rapper Spec Wizard at his music and art studio. He bestows insight on what it was like growing up in Seattle when hip-hop exploded and talks about still being charged and continuously putting out new music. Throughout the show, you'll be hearing clips from his 2 new EPs, Cool Mike and Golden Eagle, which you can find on his Bandcamp in the description. Here's Spec Wizard with the track Shy.
I just wanna rhyme to a beat for no reason. Random like tandem with the whole fam cheesing. Odd behavior for your Lord God Savior. If you into that shit, black agnostic, cosmic. Honestly, rock shit. I promise, peep the rap album and read Spec's comics. Logical profit from the HP projects. Many chose to hate as if you could stop it. Got them tripping, it's in the job description. Still mob with a pen and pad to put scripts in.
He's been called the Holy Ghost of Northwest underground hip-hop and Seattle's Baudelaire. My guest today is a pioneer of the Northwest hip-hop scene since 1979 and remains active today as a producer, rapper, performer, artist, and graffitist. You might know him as Mike Mulligan, Kodos the Rock Thrower, Balcony, Clockwise, The Elevators, and Specs One, but today he's known as Spec Wizard. Thanks so much for being here. So today we're tasting Elysian Space Dust IPA. We've had a couple sips already because we just couldn't wait to get an ice cold beer on a hot summer day in Seattle, but what'd you think?
I like it. It's pretty good. It's kind of like, it's got some spice in there. I don't know what's in there, but yeah, it's like a light IPA, I would say.
Yeah. You know, as far as light as it is, it's interesting because it's actually 8.2%. So
I think it's because I drank last night. So probably, my tolerance is up there right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What were you doing last night?
I did a show with Rick Rude and Kelly Castle Scott and Bernie Love.
Okay. And Rick Rude, he is half of Fresh Espresso, right?
Yep.
How was that rhyming with him?
It was amazing, man. We didn't really rap together all that much. You know, he had a set, I had a set. But it was good to just perform on the same stage because I think that's probably the first show we've done together. You know, we've been talking for years about doing stuff. So.
Yeah, and speaking of, you know, how many years, I mean, you've been at this for a while, man. What's the trip been like?
I love it, man. I just love exploring music, you know, and just, I don't know, just studying and trying to get better and trying to not get tired of it, you know, or get jaded about it and just keep having fun.
Yeah. What's the one thing for you that continues to be a challenge as a musical artist?
Basically, inspiration is hard to come by sometimes, I would say. Mm-hmm. You know, but when it starts, it's on kind of, it's like, and, you know, reinventing yourself and like coming up with the next song, basically. It's like once you've done something that you're proud of, it gets harder and harder to keep doing that, you know.
So what does that look like? When you run out of inspiration, are you always on the hunt to find more, or is it you just force yourself into it?
A little bit of both. Forcing myself sometimes, and sometimes I'm just waiting for vibes or just kind of letting myself be open enough to feel something new. If I got a project with another artist like I do now, I'm doing an album with Silas Black called Spec Wizard, and that's like making my writing just shoot up because I respect him so much. So I like that too if I'm working with someone else, you know.
Yeah, what's that like for you and Silas? Are you guys writing together? Are you sending things back and forth?
Yeah, we're writing together. We're basically getting in the studio and vibing in the studio on some real organic type stuff. And yeah, it's good. We'll just like put a beat on, start writing.
Wow.
Whatever we come up with. You know, a lot of times the words we're saying will connect on their own. just through the ether somehow. So it's cool.
Connect.
Just let it be loose like that.
Connect on, you mean a thematic level, as in you guys are talking about the same things?
Yeah, sometimes just certain words will pop up or something, or I don't know. Like some people like try to get conceptual really early in the song writing process, and they'll be like, "What's this song about?" Or and I just never do that. I just I just listen to the beat first and see what I'm feeling off of the beat.
So you just kind of go with it. You flow off your brain.
Yeah, totally.
Do you ever freestyle when you're writing?
Well, I definitely free write, and I've done that too, to write songs freestyle a little bit, but not that often, because I'm not really a freestyle type of rapper. I'm really into writing, and so I would call it a free write.
How often do you go back to your lyrics and start editing them?
The only way I edit my lyrics is by taking words out sometimes.
Has that been a technique you developed over time, or have you always been that way since 1979?
Well, I definitely developed things over time. In 79, I was writing really basic kind of stuff. And even though I was still trying to mess with the medium a little bit, it was super simple, based in simplicity, basically. And just like, I basically was following like Run DMC's thing, like how they would do like 4-bar rhymes and stuff like that.
Just the rhyme pattern of A, B, 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 old
totally.
school.
Yeah. And so I used to do that quite a bit, but then I took that further, so I started mixing up where the rhymes were, and just trying to like keep changing it and stuff. And I did, I was also doing a lot of spreads similar to Run DMC, like using two MCs. Me and my brother used to rap together a lot, and other MCs too that I knew. And I would always kind of design the spreads or whatever, but then we would practice them. And then when we battled, people would be together and stuff, and people would just freak out.
You would battle?
Yeah, we'd battle other cats or whatever, but we'd do it together, as like a group.
Like a tag team?
And it would always shock people. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's dope.
Yeah, totally. That was a big thing in the 80s, like rapping together and stuff.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it in a long time, but I've been wanting to. I've been wanting to bring the spreads back,
So paint that picture to me. What did that look like? Were you guys like all in a circle for a cipher, and then two of you on one side, or how did that work?
Shoot, all types of ways. Sometimes, most of the time, you just be in the bathroom, because we really like those acoustics,
That's right, that echo.
Yeah, I would get in there and battle, and it'd be like sometimes just a couple people, a couple witnesses. Sometimes it would be bigger, and it would be like after school or something, so there'd be more people, or just in the hall after lunch and stuff like that. People would just come at you sometimes, and then there'd be like the crowd would be bigger because of that, because all the kids are in the halls,
Honestly, I'm a rapper, and when I was in high school, I wish there were things like that. Because I feel
it's
like
fun to be a part of that, for sure.
Well, I also think that nowadays something like battling and freestyling and this kind of friendly competitiveness isn't nearly as common.
Yeah.
And is that something that
it's still around, but it's more manufactured, I would say. Like there's these battle leagues and all this weird stuff. It's people battle in a certain way now. Like it always kind of sounds the same, or it's always a cappella, or we battle with a beatbox.
Are things like, when you see today's, like when those things are manufactured and you see things in the media about, famous rappers having beef, do you think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, or just something you're not really vibing on, or is that something you do pick up on and you do kind of keep track of?
No, I can't. I really can't get into it. And it kind of seems like a minstrel show, if you want to know the truth. It's like, I've never been proud of it at all, because to me it's about music. Like,
sure.
It's not about like this. People have tried to monetize and kind of market this street image to where whenever rappers come out, it's always like who's tougher, you know what I mean? It's like they gotta have beef with somebody, and the beef is always public and all this stuff, and it's like, I don't think it was ever meant to be that way, It's like if you got a beef with people, it's like you might as well just keep that in the hood or something, and just be real about it and not make it a public spectacle.
Yeah. It seems like when they are doing that, they're trying to monetize it.
Yeah, like it brings up sales and stuff like that. And, I think labels kind of started that out in the 90s when they started trying to market gangster rap. And they made a lot of money off that, and just the beef thing, kind of started right then, because it was all about, who hates who, and like, I don't know, it's weird. There's some greedy people up top, basically.
Have you met any of these greedy people, or what kind of people have you dealt with?
I've never been, I'm like underground, so I've never had to deal with like no big label stuff or none of that, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Because I've been able to just kind of stay out of the whole kind of BS realm.
Yeah.
Of trying to I don't know, put on a show for people. Yeah.
Hypothetically, if like a local record label came to you and they said for your next project with Silas, Black Wizard, if they said, hey, we're gonna give you, you know, a good amount of money to sign to us, are you gonna say yes or are you gonna say no?
Well, depends what it entailed and who the people were, basically.
Yeah.
And what the label represented, I guess.
I guess it depends on how much they're gonna take your sound and control it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I gotta have creative control, of course, and just like I don't want a boss. Like I don't want people telling me what to do and where I need to be and all that kind of stuff necessarily. I just want them to put out the music when it's done, type of deal. If I had a label like that, I would totally be into it.
Yeah.
And I could just go work, you know.
Yeah. You just get to work, not have to worry about the money. And
yeah.
But speaking of money and not having a boss, you get your funding from your art, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So tell me about that. What kind of art do you make?
Well, I was a graffiti artist in the 80s, and I got into comics pretty early too, so I do a combination of comics and graffiti, and I've always kind of blended them. And I don't know, basically I'll sell canvases sometimes, like acrylic paintings, or I'll do like jackets, jean jackets for people, or graphics stuff, like I don't do a lot of flyers or posters and stuff, but I could, you know, if I needed to. And I do album cover stuff also. T-shirt design, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm looking around your art space right now, and I'm seeing a lot of comic book posters.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
you're a comic book buff, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Always have been?
Yeah.
Who'd you grow up on? Who'd you grow up reading?
Oh man, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
A lot of Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Basically. But everything else too. If I saw a comic, I would basically just pick it up. So I've read Archie, you know.
Yeah.
Hot Stuff, Casper, Richie Rich, all that stuff too, you know.
The funnies.
Yeah. The funny papers, everything, pretty much all of it.
Yeah. Now, do you see a lot of these comic book superheroes or stories influencing your rhymes even today?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm describing all this stuff, you know, in pages, because I want to put the information in there. I feel like even if people don't get it now, all the information is there, and someday they'll realize, you know, in retrospect, like, oh, okay, the whole story's in there, you know. And it's like I talk about my childhood a lot, in my rhymes too, like in my latest, in the Cool Mike thing. It's basically all just going down memory lane in a way. It doesn't get super obvious, but there's tidbits all through the whole record, you know.
Yeah. Tell me about it's an EP, right? It's about 7 tracks, is that right?
Yeah, 6 or 7. I've been doing these 6-track EPs for a while now. I meant to do a series, like a 6 EP series.
Yeah.
So.
And you released that one, Cool Mike, back in December, right?
Something like that, yeah.
How's the feedback been on that record?
Very good. People like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's like I'm pleased with it too, because basically it was done the way I wanted to do it, and it was, you know, there was not a lot of compromise and stuff.
Sure.
And that's usually the best way to go with me, you know, like if I get too fancy on a record or overproduce it, then I'm just not gonna like it as much.
Yeah.
It's just something really raw. It's just raw. You know?
What comes first, the beat or the lyrics?
Beats, definitely the beat. Because I vibe off the beat, you know, and it helps me to create styles and stuff.
Yeah. Because when you're rhyming, you have to go off kind of the rhythm of the drums, right?
Totally.
And then you also want to match the feeling of the beat or the sample, correct?
Yeah, the tone and everything, yeah.
How do you go about picking out your samples, though?
Like I said, it's a lot of listening. I listen for those rarities and just like that part of the song that's like not like any other part of the song, basically, you know. And those are all over the place, you know. It's like I can find loops anywhere. And I've got that ear to where I could just be walking down the street and, you know, hear something in the grocery store or something, you know, and just be like, oh, shit, what is that? You know what I mean? And it's like that's how my mind works all the time. It's like it's always kind of like got a dish out receiving those signals or whatever, you know.
What would you say your favorite sample off of Cool Mike is? And what song is that?
Probably the title track. And it's just a straight up loop, obvious loop, you know, that I used to hear when I was a little kid, and that's why I used it, because I already have a connection to it, because my big brother would always play this song. And it's Larry Coryell, who's also from Seattle, which is why, I thought it would be perfect also.
Even as a toddler, I was on some cool shit. Cool Mike was my first moniker, coined by David Ellis. Taught me how to deal with a nappy head, still ended up a nappy dread. He used to shine shoes down on 4th Ave, reminded me of Red Fox, always had me laughing. Big influence way before I started rapping or graphing. R.I.P. Your life was a mystery to me, probably the closest thing to fatherly. Raised by 3 very strong.
The next beer we're trying today is the Elysian Men's Room Red. I've had this beer a few times in the past, and you mentioned you did too, right?
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well let's give it a taste.
Will there be beer?
Beer is not allowed.
Home or no function beer well without.
It's really smooth.
Yeah, very smooth. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
It's almost like drinking a Coca-Cola back in the day or something. It has that smokiness to it.
it does. It kind of has that smokiness, but also that classic red, just a hint of chocolate.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
what it is,
Yeah, and it would definitely do something good. It's not thick. It's not too thick, but it's a little thick. It's enough to hold you over till dinner time.
Wow, Men's Room is good.
Yeah, it's a really good beer. I like Elysian a lot. Men's Room is a classic red ale, I think, from the Seattle area, and I was happy to be able to pick it up for today. So, what we're gonna do next is I know you're a comic book dude, and you always have been. So I created this little game called Alter Egos. Okay, and here's how we're gonna do it. So, not only are you a comic book artist, writer, creator, publisher, but I know that you also know your comic book facts. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna give you the 15 birth names of either a superhero, supervillain, or a rapper, not their stage names, and you have to tell me who I'm referring to.
Okay.
All right? I'm gonna keep track, and if you get over 13, you get to continue drinking your beer. If you get under 13, you get to keep drinking your beer. So it doesn't matter, it's just for fun. But here we go. Matt Murdock.
Daredevil.
Ding ding. Correct. I know you're gonna get this one. Steve Rogers.
Captain America.
Correct again. Corey Woods.
Corey Woods. I forgot who that is.
Raekwon.
Raekwon. That's funny.
Danny Rand.
Iron Fist.
Yep. Gary Grice.
Gary Grice. I don't know who that is. Is that another
Jizza.
rapper? That's just
Yeah.
It's funny to hear these guys.
I know, right? It
name.
doesn't sound like something he'd be called.
Yeah.
But I guess
just know rappers by rap names.
I know.
Really don't know who these people
I think
are.
you'll know a couple of these though, like Ben Dixon.
Ben Dixon. Abel Fade.
That's right. See, I knew you'd get one of them. Norman Osborn.
Green Goblin.
No. Yes, just kidding. That's correct. Dennis Coles.
Yeah, cool.
This one is hilarious. I mean, you won't get this, I don't think.
No.
Ghostface Killer. He's a dentist.
Wow. I did not know that, man. Dennis.
Wilson Fisk.
The Kingpin.
That's right. Nasir bin Alud Dara Jones. Gives away in the first name, Nasir.
Oh, Nas?
Yep. That's how he got his name.
Nice.
Frank Castle.
The Punisher.
Yep. Bruce Banner.
The Hulk.
Yep, I knew you knew that one. Okay. Ben Foder.
Don't know who that is.
Okay, so this is a superhero, but it's actually Seattle superhero Phoenix Jones.
Have
you heard of him?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
I met him in the street a couple times.
Really?
Yeah.
What's he like?
He's cool.
Hey.
He was, he was on patrol, so he was just,
Does he come
in
up
the
to
zone,
Capitol?
in the superhero zone.
Does he come up to Capitol Hill often? Is that where you met him?
I haven't seen him in a long time, but I did see him on Capitol Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, just walking around, partying. And he was out there doing his thing.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was very cool.
And final one, Michael Hall.
Spec Wizard.
That's right.
I had to think about it for a second.
I forgot my name.
Yeah. Like, who?
I wanted to ask that actually because I wanted to know if Golden Eagle, is that a reference to some type of superhero name you gave yourself for that EP that was released last year?
No, Golden Eagle was another kind of childhood thing. Like both Cool Mike and Golden Eagle were both childhood things. Like Golden Eagle was an old schoolyard gang or club that I started, and we would just the goal was just chasing girls at the time. That's pretty much all we did.
Yeah.
Some run around.
Birds of prey.
At recess, and that's like we would like be making bird sounds and all this stuff. We were like notorious, basically.
What part of Seattle did you grow up in?
Southwest, High Point projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know exactly where that is. I grew up in West Seattle.
Oh, okay,
And
cool.
I went to the High Point gym a lot for my rec
nice.
sports growing up.
Oh, cool, man.
So I know that whole area pretty well. Did you frequent in West Seattle or what?
I was all over the place out there. I was down in Lincoln Park, up in the Admiral District, hitting the movie theater.
Man, we
And
could
just-
talk for hours
yeah,
about that.
yeah, totally. It's I love that spot.
Yeah.
I haven't been out there in a long time. But
Well, it's ridiculous because I mean, my folks still live in West Seattle, and it's such a mission to get over there.
yeah, over the bridge and all that.
The
stuff.
bridge
Yeah.
is one thing, and then it's just the massive traffic to get there. It's just
Yeah.
like I would have to go through 30 minutes of sitting and doing nothing.
yeah. It's sad.
It is.
But I used to make the trip to come out here all the time.
Cap Hill?
Yeah, well, downtown.
Downtown.
Basically, yeah.
What did you do downtown back then?
I just hang out with graffiti writers and stuff. Like basically, my mom. Luckily enough for me, she trusted me and she let me go downtown when I was about 12 or something, 11 or 12. And so I've always been kind of running around downtown. And in the 80s, 3rd Avenue, over that McDonald's right there in the corner, was kind of the hub for early graffiti writers. And
Really?
stuff. Yeah. So I'd always meet people there and we'd just hang out. And,
I don't
Run around.
I don't see as much graffiti downtown anymore. Was it a lot more back in the 80s?
oh yeah.
Man, what changed?
All the graffiti was downtown. I really don't know what changed as far as like why the graffiti ain't there, because even in the 90s some graffiti popped up downtown too. Like people were being daring and like, okay, I'm gonna get up downtown or whatever. It's like a big deal if you got up downtown kind of in the 90s of school, like you were saw as extra bold or something. It's like to put something near the Bon Marché or McDonald's or the bus station or anything
Yeah.
like that stuff. But yeah, back in the day though, it was that's all it was, because kids were going into downtown after school. Graffiti was just kind of starting out here, and so it just kind of blew up.
So you think it was more of a cultural phenomena and not so much that later the cops started cracking down?
Well, they probably started cracking down a little bit too, I imagine, But it seemed like it'd be easy to tag in the middle of a city. It's like there's so much going on, you could probably just.
Yeah.
Like I see people when I'm in New York, actually, they still have graffiti in the city. Like it's a thing. Still.
Yeah.
So, and I used to tag on the bus a bunch
That's awesome.
when I was a kid. It's like,
Well, how did you do that though? Or would you go to the bus terminal?
no, we would just be on the bus going to school and stuff. You just ride on the seat, sitting in. or just whatever. The window. It's nice to get up on. the
Oh,
window.
you mean like literally just like right there, and you like scratch it in, or you use like a Sharpie or something, right?
Pilot.
Pilot.
Yeah, pilots were always good, and we used to call them big H's. They're these big wide pens.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are always fun.
And that's when you put up Specs 1. Were you Specs 1 at the time or Specs Wizard? Even then, or are you just Specs?
I was definitely just Specs. I never really put a 1 on it that often.
Okay.
When I was writing, it would just be Specs by itself, or Specs came, and which was my second name kind of deal. People would always have a first and last name, or sometimes if they had another name that you wanted to get up, just in case you didn't want to blow up your first name.
Well, I've seen that you still do graffiti. You did things
Yeah.
for the Zulu Wall of Unity.
Yeah.
You did some pieces for Bumbershoot. You did the mural at the Mohai exhibit
Yeah.
last year, and you've also done some things around Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Where can people go nowadays to find your graffiti?
It's nowhere. Yeah, it's like it's all here in my room, I guess. Because I haven't been hit up to do a
You heard
mural
him, folks.
in
Just
a
break
while.
into his room if you want to see his
want
work.
some art. It's like it kind of sucks because I really want to get into doing more murals, because I like painting big. Feels good, and it's just more freedom and stuff.
There's been a lot of ways that graffiti has evolved over the
Yeah.
last few decades,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of different styles out there right now. A lot of people will go and plan really far and ahead. A lot of people just freehand it.
Mm-hmm.
When you were doing it a lot more, whenever that was in the 80s or 90s,
Yeah.
or even the last time you do it, are you just feeling yourself, or do you have a general idea of what you want it to look like?
That was more of the old way for me. Like I would do an outline and then bring an outline. It was kind of the traditional way to just kind of be spraying your outline and kind of looking at it on a slip of paper or something, And I did that a couple times, and I realized I just like freestyling. So usually when I paint, it's all off the top of the dome, and it's just super fun
Yeah.
to paint that way. I can do planned out tight stuff too, if I wanted to. But it's never as fun. It's just it never comes out as good.
Yeah.
I think I was meant to do kind of freeform art stuff.
Okay.
I mean, in comics, you have to design your comics. Of course,
Right.
but yeah.
And I'm glad you meant that up because I wanted to talk to you about, well, you had quite of accomplishment. I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago with your 80-page graphic novel, Mux Adapter.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Basically, there was like 2 stories in there, but the main story was mostly about these characters, these heads come down, and they're kind of like an intellectual race or a council of sorts. And they were coming down. This is weird because it became a Rick and Morty episode recently that I noticed.
Wait, what? Oh,
yeah,
you mean like the
my exact story.
giant heads?
Yeah.
Oh, so like, show me what you got.
Yeah, which is super funny, but it's like I totally did. That was my same story. Like they come down, it's called the audience. They're the audience, you know. They come down and they want to see if this place is interesting at all.
Uh-huh.
And so the main guy there's not a lot of dialogue, so it's hard to make out. It's just like I wanted it to be really mysterious and stuff and kind of vague or whatever, which was probably my fault. People don't get it ever, you know. But it's like, yeah, that's basically what's happening. Is they come down and it's like, what you got for us, you know? And he shows them and he like builds this big kind of like monolithic rock creature, and then he films it. You can't really tell this is going on, but he like makes a movie for them basically and shows them a film about the life of this giant rock creature. And at the end of it, they're like, oh, you know, it's pretty good. So they don't destroy his planet. That is because it's cool what he did. They liked it and they take off.
That is eerily similar to that Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah, totally.
I think that you need to file a lawsuit. Get that cheddar,
I like
man.
that show quite a bit.
No, that show is awesome.
It's weird that
man.
we came up with the same. You know, I mean, mine was predates.
Yours was clearly better.
Yeah. Well, it was first.
Well, you're also juggling this new project you have with Silas Black, Black Wizard.
Yeah.
When is that going to come out?
Hopefully pretty soon, you know, October maybe, I don't know. I guess that's what we're gonna shoot for, but we got a ways to go on it too. We got like 3 more songs.
3 more songs.
Yeah.
How often are you guys meeting up and recording and writing?
We were meeting up kind of frequently, but then everybody got busy. You know, Black is also doing another solo record. But yeah, I'm definitely been kind of itching to get back to Black Wizard because we got a lot to do. We got to make some artwork and, you know, got to finish songs up and
schedule an album release party.
Yeah.
Get everything in order.
Yeah,
blow it up, man.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. Are you guys gonna have any features on the album?
No. Rob Castro is the one that facilitated the whole thing, and he told us we couldn't have any features. You know.
Who's Rob Castro?
Rob Castro is he runs Concuss Creations. He prints up T-shirts and stuff, posters, and he's also producing music and recording artists. So yeah, he's got a lot of stuff on the horizon here.
And so he was saying it's just going to be you two on the track or tracks?
Yeah, he's like, that's what I want, so that's what it's got to be or whatever.
What did he? I'm sorry. What's his hand in the album?
He basically paid for the whole thing to exist. You know, like he's like, this is what's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
So
what do you need?
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like a co-signing.
Yeah, he's just like, this is I'm putting this together. I'm recording it, but you guys do what you want. Do what you're best at, basically. And so, yeah, it's like me and Black have always wanted to work together, basically. But he's kind of the force behind it. He's just like, it's time to do this project or whatever. So.
That's good. What can people expect from the new projects? From what you've recorded so far, what's going to be the hook that people who are fans of Silas Black and Spec Wizard, what's going to be the thing that's really going to get them by the balls?
Well, that aspect is like basically the fact that we've both been here doing our thing in the same realm for 20 plus years. He came here in the 90s. I've been here my whole life, of course. But he put out a lot of vinyl and like all types of stuff in the 90s, and was like, we were kind of both out there, 2 different pillars, respecting each other's projects from a distance kind of deal. But I've always wanted to work with Black from the beginning. And it's basically just both of our styles, as hard as we could push them on the same beat, and in the same room.
Good convo had me from the get-go. Hips so equipped, got me feeling schizo. Gotta stay focused, cause struggle's been cold. Get those chips though before the shit go. So we can settle down, maybe even get old. Lounge on the stoop, watch a couple kids grow. Passed on a gift so they represent gold.
Okay, we're on to the final beer of today's show.
Yeah.
It is time for the Elysian's Men's Room Gold. So this is not the Men's Room Red. This is an ale brewed with lemongrass and coriander. I have no idea what either of those are. You do?
No, I don't.
Oh, you said like you know.
Well, I'm taking it as like kind of fusiony, like it's a fusion beer.
Yeah. I'll let you crack that open. But yeah, this is a special release by Elysian. Found it in like a secret hidden row at a local supermarket. So without further ado, cheers for being an awesome guest. Let's give it a taste.
Marge, I'm going to Moe's. Send the kids to the neighbors. I'm coming back loaded.
That is a fusion.
Whoa.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a sweetness.
Yeah.
You can taste that
almost like a saison or something.
Yeah, it is kind of like it's an ale.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And it's got a little bit of sweet of that, I don't know, lemongrass, but I taste like a little bit of lemon, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that's accurate, but it's nice and light. This is definitely a good summer beer, and I think that's maybe why they called it the Gold.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've tasted all three of the Elysian 3, which we'll review, is the Space Dust IPA,
Yeah.
then the Red, then the Gold. What's your favorite?
I gotta go with the red.
The
for
Red.
Sure. Yeah.
Are you usually a fan of Reds, or is it just the Men's Room Red?
Yeah, it's just the men's room red, and I do like other reds too, actually.
Yeah.
But it's not something I'm going in the store and grabbing.
Yeah.
Like a whole lot of. I mostly try to go for lagers and IPAs if I feel like kicking it up a notch or whatever.
If you're going into, let's say, like a Total Wine or like a beer emporium, what's your go-to drink?
I switch up a lot, basically. Yeah. I'll go into a spot and I'll just grab whatever I haven't drank
healthy.
before.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I go about it. So I don't have a favorite.
No, okay.
I'll just have something I'm on for a few weeks.
Kind of like a favorite artist or something.
Yeah. It's like I'll just move on sometimes.
Yeah.
Right now, I can't even tell you what I've been drinking. PF, what's the Perfume or something? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like it's got a P and an F on it. Yeah. I don't know what it's called. I really don't know how to say it. Perfume.
Well, here's an easier question then. What's your go-to cheap beer?
Oh shoot, I have to say Red Stripe or Rainier.
Yeah, Red Stripe or Rainier.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Red Stripe dude, but Rainier's good. I'm a PBR guy myself.
Right.
I like PBR. And you know what? I learned this when I interviewed Wisdom. I asked him PBR or Rainier. He said PBR because they use sugar in PBR.
I heard that. Yeah.
Corn, did he tell you that?
No, I heard that on the show actually.
Oh yeah, and corn syrup.
It's got me thinking. I've been drinking a lot of Tecate also.
Tecate is really good too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you dug the beers today, and I'm really glad you like the Men's Red. Elysian is a great brewery. If you're listening, you should definitely go to one of their restaurants and get a beer. Go to the supermarket. And I'm not even being paid for them to say this. I'm just saying this for the good of the nation, man. Elysian is a damn good brewery.
Yeah, and drink beer because it's good for your life.
It is true. It is. It's good for your life. Good for your soul.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna play a game now.
Cool.
The game's called Flip the Record.
Cool.
It's a simple game meant to give our listeners a glimpse on your thoughts and opinions on not just hip hop and beer, but really anything that might be fun to know. I'll give you two options, and you just name the option you prefer.
Okay.
Simple enough?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Yeah. Good answer. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
IPA or pale?
IPA.
We're 2 for 2 on agreeing on these. Okay. Hot dog on a hamburger bun or hamburger on a hot dog bun?
Hamburger bun. Probably hot dog and a hamburger bun, I'd have to say.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cut them like in little slices.
Yeah, because
I mean,
you can't fit a hamburger in.
That's another thing, but you'd have to cut it in half. My mom used to do that. She would like, we're all out of hamburger buns. We're gonna use hot dogs. She'd cut them in half, and that's how we'd eat them.
Nice.
Synthesizers or keyboards?
I would say synth.
Synth, okay.
Yeah.
Freestyling or writing?
Writing.
Batman or Superman?
Batman.
He's the fucking OG.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, he's just a ninja.
That's where DC Comics came from, is Detective Comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So
DC Detective Comics. Hopefully Ben Affleck will do him justice in the
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I'm not a Ben Affleck fan.
I did not like that he was cast.
Yeah.
I was
He
like,
already ruined Daredevil. It's like, you're going to let him be Batman
that's
now?
true.
Like,
Yeah,
come
he
on, man.
did. Oh, wait, do you watch the Daredevil? Do you ever like cop Netflix?
I did, yeah.
Dude, that's a good show. Did you like it?
Yeah, it is good.
I thought that
Yeah,
was a really
it's
good show. We're getting sidetracked here,
Okay.
but I completely agree. Wu-Tang or Tribe Called Quest?
Oh, man, that's hard. Because Wu-Tang's a lot bigger than a Tribe Called Quest.
Are they, though? I feel like Tribe is just as well known.
Well, no, I mean bigger as people. Like, there's so many more people involved
yeah.
in Wu-Tang.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a group of, I don't know, 12 people, even growing. I don't know.
It's hard to say. That's really, I'm stuck on that one. I really like A Tribe Called Quest. I really like Wu-Tang.
Let me pose it in a different way, and this might even be harder to answer. If you had to choose one person from either Wu-Tang or Tribe Called Quest to collaborate with, who would you want to rhyme with or produce for?
One person from one of the groups or one from each of the
One
groups?
from one of them, just as
Oh, okay. Shoot. I would love to work with Jizza, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AKA, what was his name that we went? It was Gary Grice. Call up Gary.
Yeah. I feel like I better not laugh at this guy.
Oh, no. Yeah. Jizz, if you're listening, we love you. All right, Sasquatch or Loch Ness?
Sasquatch.
Yeah. You got it, Northwest.
Yeah,
We're not in
come on now.
Scotland here.
Yeah. Sasquatch.
All right, how about this? 80s hip hop or 90s hip hop?
90s.
90s hip hop.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. I love it. But it wasn't. There was a crossover. Like, 88 is probably my favorite year in hip hop. 88 and 89 also.
Well, I read that.
So it's a crossover there, but yeah.
I read that in 88. That's when you put out your first self-released, self-produced tape. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Since that was released, like, what has hip hop in Seattle been like? It's been a huge evolution.
It's changed a lot because back then people were really separate. Like, you didn't know who people were. You had to do your research. You had to find people and stuff like that.
By going to shows, right?
Yeah, by going to shows, checking folks out, you know what I mean? And I don't know. Seattle has changed a lot, but it also hasn't changed in a lot. Like, a lot of ways, there's always a lot of love here. Like, a lot of the performers and MCs and producers and stuff, they get along with each other pretty well. You know, it's not like we're out here beefing or something. We support each other, you know? And I pay attention to my local stuff. You know?
Yeah.
And everybody's first album, I'm always there kind of deal. And I just want to hear what they hit the ground with, and, you know, then it just goes from there. Sometimes I keep following people, sometimes I don't. And with him, I just didn't follow anything else after that, really.
Well, if you're following the scene right now, who do you think, if you can tell the listeners right now, who should we be looking out for? Who should we give a listen to in Seattle?
I would say Mall Saint. It's another underground artist that's one of my favorite MCs in the town. It's just writing very, 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 you know, good, like this Northwest Seattle hip hop CD vibe. You know, it's good. And like Silas Black, of course, and that's about it right now. You know, Wisdom, of course. You know, we're always hanging together like every week, and we all support each other's stuff. It's like, that's the main reason, and, you know, it's because we're active and we're out here trying to make it happen still. So, I mean, there's a lot of people I like, but some people aren't really putting nothing out. And like, I got a friend, S. Malik, also, is something to check out. And I'm anticipating whatever he puts out, basically.
What are you looking for when you hear an upcoming rapper or just a new rapper in Seattle or anywhere, really? What drives you to listen to their music?
I'm a stickler for just the overall vibe and definitely good writing. You know, like if somebody's just writing nonsense or just not, I don't know. If it sounds amateur, I'm not gonna really be into it that much, you know. And beats, of course, you know. I just like good beats and the combination of the two, and honesty, I guess.
Yeah.
I look for people just being sincere as opposed to like pandering. I know there's always gonna be that aspect in Seattle where people want to get big and they want to be the next whoever, you know what I mean? And I'm just, you know, that's always going to be a mistake for one. You can't be the next to anybody. You just got to be yourself and stuff, you know.
And that's never been something that's you've been concerned with. You've never been trying to make a million or a platinum. You not even when you started out?
Nope.
You're always doing for love of the music.
Yeah. Totally.
Wow. That's very respectable.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I mean, I met a lot of rappers and a lot of them are, man,
I gotta blow up.
Yeah, I need to blow up. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, personally,
it's possible. It's been proven that you can do it.
I mean, as a rapper myself, I mean, first and foremost, it's about the art and making things I like.
Yeah.
Making things I think that I'm gonna like and that my fans are gonna appreciate. But if it's not gonna lead me to blow up, I ain't gonna like sell my soul to do that.
Yeah.
So I respect where you're coming from.
Word.
Well, that's gonna about wrap it up for today's show. We've heard your insight on the Elysian beers. You like the Men's Room Red, I do too, but I gotta say my favorite is gonna be the Elysian Space Dust. But this Elysian Gold, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I gotta say, but thank you, Spec Wizard, so much for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find his music by searching Spec Wizard on Google. You can find his Bandcamp, his SoundCloud, his Facebook as well. Where's the best place for them to find all updates about Spec Wizard?
I have a Twitter. I'm not really super active on tweeting or nothing, but I got one, you know, and that's a good place to go.
It's better than Donald Trump.
You know? Yeah, exactly. My tweets are way better than his, man. And I've been trying to figure that out for a while. And also Facebook is cool.
Cool.
But they took my name from me, and now it's just Michael D. Hall on Facebook But yeah, that's where you find me.
At least follow him or friend him if you want to find out all the updates, especially on his upcoming release with Silas Black Wizard.
Yeah.
Mr. Spec Wizard, is there anything else you'd like to let the people know before we close out?
Just don't forget about us out here, man. That there's real Northwest gritty hip hop out here that's being ignored and, you know, needs to change.
That's right. Do your part to find good music out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Spec Wizard, I want to thank you again so much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. This has been Hoppy on Broadway. Until next week, peace.
Call it rap. Call it rap. Call it rap. Call it rap.
Yo, day one mission, spray heat from the vision. Many couldn't see, so the mic I befriended. Head pressed against the boombox to see who rocking. Patiently waiting for the DJ to stop talking back to the rap shit. Yes, I was an addict. Cassette all the black wax, I was always at it.